Hello there. I was teaching somebody yesterday, and the conversation was a lot about their difficulties with listening, with understanding what other people say and how frustrating it is. And in the case of this person, it was interesting because their oral communication is B2, but their oral comprehension is probably A2. And we were looking at different ways to bridge the gap between the two. And I think there are two types of listening exercises, or two types of listening that you can do when you're trying to improve your English. And one of them is passive listening. Passive listening is basically when you're listening, but not forcing it, not putting yourself under any pressure. It's just happening, and you're experiencing it. For example, when you watch Netflix or a film or listen to a story or a podcast, you don't necessarily have to force yourself to understand every single detail. There isn't an exercise afterwards where you've got to answer questions. That's passive listening. And active listening is when you really have to listen very carefully for specific details, either because, as I say, it's an exercise and there are some questions afterwards, or because somebody's talking directly to you. And yesterday morning, I had a class of 13 people, and I split it into 10 minutes each. And we did it by Zoom because it was snowing and the roads were icy, and so I couldn't actually physically go to the lesson. And I noticed that face-to-face, when I was speaking to them directly and they were speaking to me directly, their English was far better, far more on the ball, if you like, than when we were in a classroom. So when it was active, because I was speaking only to them and directly to them, they managed to understand better and to reply better. So there is an element of, I don't know, maybe adrenaline or concentration. So what I've decided to do is to put together some videos where I'm going to ask you questions, different levels, A1, A2, etc., etc. For simple questions, I will leave a gap of 10 seconds after each question so that you have time to reply. For more difficult questions, I'll leave a longer gap, okay? I'm not going to give any answers. I'm only going to ask questions, and the idea is for you to listen to questions and to practice replying quickly, okay? So this is the introduction to it, and in the next video, you'll have the first questions. Good luck.